This is the SourceMLS podcast with Mark, Jon and Rich.
Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the SourceMLS podcast. We've been away for quite a while, but we're back. Hello Mark.
Hello Jon.
Hello Rich.
Hello guys, good to be back. Very good to be back.
It's good to be back, isn't it?
Hello ladies and gentlemen.
The date is 22nd of April 2016. We're finally back on the podcast after a long hiatus. Hiatus? That's the right word. Let's go with that one.
Very short hiatus.
It felt like a long hiatus.
It felt like one.
But either way, we're back now, and let's get straight into it. Our first game that we've got this weekend is tomorrow evening's game is Philadelphia Union taking on New York City. Rich, you're covering this one, I believe.
Yes, I am, guys, and it's 9 o'clock on Saturday night, tomorrow night, live on Sky Sports 3. It's a more inconsistent Philadelphia Union team who have won 3 games and lost 3 games this term, but find themselves second in the Eastern Conference behind the Montreal Impact, who are the early pace setters. Coming up against a New York City team who they're languishing in mid-table of Eastern Conference, 6th, 7th place, around there. You know, I'm not quite sure what... I don't want to go on for too long about this, gents, but we have spoke time and time again, haven't we, about New York City and the need for them to find some consistency after last year's debut season.
Yeah.
The
one
I can honestly see Philadelphia getting a result out of this. I mean, New York have... Scroll down a second, Mark, just get the most recent ones. But I mean, yeah, New York haven't won
since opening day.
Haven't won since the opening day. Yeah, exactly. So, you know, they've drawn 3, including 3 home games.
I think it's some of the goals that... Put it like this, we were on the Toronto-New York City game that was the second game of the season, and they raced into a 2-0 lead. Toronto weren't ready for their attacking style, but then they gave the goal they gave away just before half-time, the free kick whipped in by Giovinco. Poor defending. It was Ray poor defending and allowed Toronto to get back in the game. Orlando, Ray early in the game, was not good defending on Kyle Lowry. And granted, Kyle Lowry's a great striker, he's going to finish it. But they easily let him go. New England Revolution, again, soft goal. The only clean sheet they've had all season was in the draw against Chicago. At home.
I think the problem is as well, but they're leaking goals.
Yeah.
They really are leaking goals. 3 goals to Columbus last time out. You know, a 0-0 draw, granted, decent result, but at home you've got to pick your points up. Going back, 1-1 draw against New England Revs, again at home, and that critical Orlando City loss at home as well. The early goal really sort of set the cat amongst the pigeons' head, didn't it? And sort of did not get New York off to the best start. They've not scored more than two goals since the opening day of the season, when they scored 4.
Yeah.
You know, and they've only scored 2 or more goals on 3 occasions this season out of 6. I mean, even when they have scored the goals, they've not got the result.
However, on the flip side, you have a Philadelphia Union who fluctuate between going on to win and then going on to lose, but have played some good football at times.
I know. I don't want to go on about New York for too long. I think we all know that Vieira and co have some difficulties to attend to there, and really need to sort of get the season back on track ASAP. And a win against a second place Philadelphia side really would sort of kick the team into gear, I think. But yeah, I mean, Philadelphia, they face a tough test against the Seattle team last time out. I believe that was it Tuesday or Wednesday night, that one?
Yeah.
So, I mean, they face a tough Seattle side who now have to after an indifferent start, they've picked up points from the last 3 matches, Seattle. So they look like they're going to start. I mean, we'll talk about them later, but they're going to start hitting form soon.
Here's the thing, though. Some of the results they've. If you look at here's the results so far this season. Last 6, 2-0 loss to Dallas, 2-1 win away to Columbus, 3-0 win at home to Revolution, 1-0 loss away to Chicago, 2-1 win at home to Orlando, and then of course 2-1 loss away to Seattle.
There's a mixed bag there, isn't there?
It's a mixed bag, yeah.
But I mean, look, they beat the likes of Orlando, which we have said are up there for MLS Cup contenders, but then they go and lose to
Chicago,
exactly.
Granted,
I watched that game, and it was a very different game. Like, obviously, weather conditions wasn't in anybody's favour that day, and they were very unlucky to not score a couple of goals. But
And it was coming off with a 3-0 win over Revolution.
Yeah, Revolution are a very inconsistent side. I mean, this is in the Eastern Conference where no one has been consistent. Hardly anybody's been consistent so far this season.
A lot of teams have lost games that they really should have closed out.
But no one's got any consistent form.
Exactly. I think
There's no consistency
in the
league
Eastern
yet.
Conference.
In the Eastern, yeah.
that was a point I wanted to make. I mean, looking at the Eastern Conference, apart from Montreal, who, like I say, they're the early pace setters up there with 12 points, Philadelphia sitting just behind on 9 points, I can't pick anyone out of that top 5 or 6 who I really fancy to win it, because I just don't know how the teams are going to... The form is very, very... It fluctuates, doesn't it? I mean, look at Philadelphia and New York's last 6 games combined, and you've got only 4 wins out of 12 games there, haven't you, from both teams? I mean, what... But Philadelphia somehow, 3 wins, 3 losses, find themselves second in the table.
There's not a lot of goals scored either.
No.
If you notice. I mean, like the highest scoring team in the division is Orlando with 11 from 6 games.
I think it's going to be about who doesn't... It's going to be all about who doesn't concede. I mean...
It's a
Who would you say has got the best defence?
in this division, right?
Toronto,
Out the two
Toronto
are
by
in the
looks of it.
division.
Well, in this division, we'll talk about this division because we'll talk about the Western later.
In the Eastern Conference, I'd probably say...
I'd
say
New
Montreal.
England. I say New England.
Would you really? They conceded 10 goals.
I know, but
I'd say Union. I'd say Union or Impact.
but then again,
However,
you look at the stats. Toronto only conceded 5 in 6 games, but then again, they've only scored 6.
But I'm thinking this year it's all going to come down to who has the sternest defence. Looking at goals scored, you can go all the way down to DC. They've scored 7 goals, one more than fourth place Toronto, and only 1 less goal than second place Philadelphia. And look at New York; they've scored 9 goals, so conceded 10.
First of all, if you don't concede, you're not going to lose many games. You're not going to lose any games if you don't concede.
But compared to the Eastern Conference, though, I mean, if you look at them, Dallas up there with 15 goals, 10 again. It looks a lot. The goal difference spread looks a lot more even there, doesn't it? Going 5-4-2-2 as you head.
Portland, who have conceded 14.
And apart from Galaxy as well, which is just an anomaly in itself, isn't it?
Here's the thing, though. Okay, going back to the Eastern Conference, going back to Union and City. Despite the fact we've criticised City quite a bit, how they haven't put another win on the board, despite the fact they really should have got some better results since the opening day, and we've criticised Union for not being consistent enough. Considering that quite a few other Eastern teams are really not kicking into gear yet, would you say that to both of them, they've got a chance to really, I wouldn't say become a pace setter in the same way Impact has, but establish themselves as one of the front runners to be in the playoffs?
Well, I think if you look at the league table, I think New York Red Bulls are the biggest shock so far this season. I mean, they topped it last year and then they rock bottom this year. They haven't impressed at all this season. They've got 1 win and 6 losses. Very bad form for them, I think.
And conceded 15.
I think everyone bar them, I think you could see getting in the playoffs or even maybe not necessarily winning it. But I think, for me, Orlando are still the ones to beat. I know Montreal are up there, obviously top of the table, and rightly so. But Orlando, for me, are the pace setters. The players that they've got can beat anybody on the day.
I wouldn't say the Eastern Conference is it's going to be a tough conference to get out of. I think it's going to come down to who is literally the best of the bad bunch in that spot there, I think.
It's a shame because after last season, it was a really entertaining league to watch.
Well, again, we've only
It's
had
still
6...
entertaining because you don't know who's going to win.
Yeah,
so
but I mean,
if you're a fan of one of the clubs that's in there, then it's going to be very not entertaining at all. But if you're a neutral like we are, then it's going to be very entertaining.
The unpredictable nature of the league really does lend itself to being entertained, doesn't it? But I mean, I'm looking at Philadelphia in particular, and I've seen a very interesting stat where they've scored 8 goals, and CJ Sapong, who we all know is a very good player on his day, has scored 3 and contributed 1 assist. So CJ Sapong is directly responsible for exactly half of their goals. If Philadelphia get the players around him scoring, you know, do you reckon they are really in with a chance of doing something this year?
Yes. Maybe not necessarily winning the cup or even the conference, but definitely playoffs.
I think Union have started well enough. Whilst I still think they need to... How can I put this? there are some games they should close out a lot quicker. And I know this is going to sound like a ridiculously bizarre example, but when they played Revolution, yeah, they won 3-0, but they had 2 penalties. And I know they were both saved, but I mean, when you've got a penalty, you've got to...
They weren't very good penalties
They
either.
weren't the greatest penalties. And Revolution should have slotted them away and killed the game off. And granted, eventually they did do that. Eventually they got the 3rd goal and game was over. However, they should have got to the position where they could comfortably coast to the end, 4 or 5-0 up, and go, right, there we go, there's our win. But they didn't do that.
I don't think any team's really doing that, really, getting 4 or 5.
I think tomorrow's game is going to come down between how good City can be on the attack and how good Union can be on the defence. Because Union's strong point, from what I've seen this season, is when their midfield closes down with the back and they hold the line.
It's about whether both defences turn up.
Have we got any injury concerns for any sides, Rich?
I'm not. Sorry, John. I've not seen any injury report that suggests that we shouldn't have any players ruled out.
So, because obviously in the past we've had international breaks which have led to teams, obviously like New York, losing the likes of Discourage was a player that they missed terribly when I.
Lampard's still out.
Lampard's still out as far as I know.
And
Pirlo, as far as I know, is fine.
Yeah.
McNamara has been probably their best player this season so far. Is fit. So is David Villa.
Put it like this: if I was Vieira, I'd go into this game, and the first 10 minutes I'd hit Union as hard as I could, because that's how they went so easy into a lead against Toronto.
But I think that's the problem that they do. They do that, and then they lend themselves to a counter-attack break, and then they concede because their defence isn't strong enough to deal with it.
Here's the argument I'm going to give: I do not see any way in their defence of being strong. It worries me looking at New York's team. I cannot see in their defence a strong enough defence.
They've not got a settled defence. They go from 3 at the back to 4 at the back to 5 at the back.
Yeah,
We're alternating week in, week out. There's no settled back 3,
to
4,
be fair,
5.
I think
I would play 4.
Mark, you hit it spot nail on the head there, mate. I think you've really sort of got down to the nitty-gritty of it, in that Vieira does not know his best defence yet, and I don't even think he knows his best team.
No, don't know his best
or
team.
best formation, or
Well, as
style.
long as one of his so-called best players and is one of his designated players, Frank Lampard, is injured, he's not going to know his best team.
No.
He's not going to know whether he can fit into this team or not,
But
because if the midfield is set, Lampard might not get into it.
Lampard's a funny one, isn't it? He's been
Yeah.
out of his calf, hamstring injury, or it's one of the two. I've not seen anything on injury reports suggesting that he's going to come back or anything. I really don't envisage him playing much of a role this season, to be honest.
We didn't play much of one last season because he was injured a lot of last season as well. So
I'm just going to say, I'm still holding my view. If I was Vieira going into this game, I'd put 4 at the back, and in the opening 15 to 30 minutes, I'd hit Union as hard as I could. If I was Union, however, I'd roll up with the same one that went to Seattle. I thought they were unlucky not to get a draw out Seattle. I'd roll up to this, bear in mind they're at home. I'd go into this game and go, right, we're going to start going more and more on the wings, because start probing forward and start slowly applying more and more pressure to New York. Because the minute that a constant bit of pressure is put on their defence, we've seen it. They crumble, don't they? They go. They don't have anything to hold up.
with Philadelphia, we mentioned this similar to Toronto, where I think we all agree that Toronto are a little bit overly reliant on Giovinco. Do you think Philadelphia are overly reliant on Sapong?
No.
Even though he's contributed, like Rich said, to half of their goals.
Overly reliant? I don't think they rely on him. I think he just comes up with the goods.
I know, but if nobody else is contributing.
Here's the thing I remember seeing in, no offence to Toronto and no offence to their fans, but watching the Toronto-Colorado game, granted Toronto by this point were down 10 men, but literally all they did from about the 70th minute onwards was, 50th minute onwards, it was just try and get the ball to Giovinco. And granted, that's a good tactic. He is an absolutely phenomenal player. I still, a lot of people say, oh, he couldn't make it on the European stage. He can. He has, and I'm pretty sure if he went back, I can't think of a league where he wouldn't be able to prove himself. He's one of those players.
We had a discussion at the start of the year, but he should probably still be playing in Europe, shouldn't he? But just quickly, New York City FC versus Philadelphia Union injury report before we move on to Mark's game, which is San Jose Earthquakes versus Sporting Kansas City.
Yeah.
Connor Brandt is out. He will not be playing for New York. Jack Harrison, Frank Lampard, Ethan White, all questionable. I did see Frank Lampard was back in New York training earlier this
Full
week.
training.
Well, he had a shirt on. He had a training shirt on. He was on the pitch. So
I was going to say, if you got a shirt on and that means you're training, bloody hell, excuse my language, but I've got to be training every day.
It's alright, I've heard worse. Philadelphia Union, Maurice Edu is out, Ilzinho's questionable, and Ken Trivis is also questionable.
As far as I know, they're not. None of those players that you mentioned for both sides are like first team regulars.
No, I don't think.
As far as I know,
I don't
Could be
think
wrong.
that. I don't think that.
Before we finish up and get our predictions, sorry to interrupt you, Rich. Just the opinion on Lampard. If Lampard was fully fit for tomorrow's game, would you put him in your starting 11 or not?
I don't know.
no.
I don't know if he's gonna. I don't know if he'll
The
suit
problem
the
isn't
system.
defence. It isn't midfield, it's defence. We've established this in many games that they've played. It's the defence that's the problem that needs work. The midfield's fine.
No, but I think if your midfield is fine, then Mark, you don't upset the balance of it by bringing in a player like Lampard, who will not know his. Will you play him further up the pitch? If I'm Patrick Vieira, similar thing applies to Bruce Arena at Galaxy. I'm playing Gerrard just behind the centre forward.
Yeah.
Keep him high at the pitch. That's what he's been doing all through both of them through their respective careers.
Right, okay, before we witter on a bit more, let's get our predictions. Mark, you're first up on this one. What are you going to say?
2-2.
Rich?
2-1 Philadelphia.
I'm going to say 2-0 Union. Bear in
None
mind...
of us fancy New
No, I don't.
Okay.
But again, anything can happen, can't it? As we know.
That game will be tomorrow evening, 23rd of April. Philadelphia Union hosting New York City FC. Rich will be live tweeting. I'll be live tweeting with you actually on this one.
Yes, me and John will be providing comprehensive live coverage on the SourceMLS Twitter handle, as we are watching it live tomorrow night. Out, aren't we? We're
Yes,
going out
we're-
to watch it. Yeah, we're looking forward to it.
It's my birthday. Got to get out and do something. Anyway, our next game. Yeah, I know.
Birthday mention.
Next game.
Honourable mention.
San Jose Earthquakes take on Sporting Kansas City. Mark, your game.
Mark, you have the call for this one.
I do have the call for this one, and it's a game on paper I think could be very entertaining to watch. San Jose and Kansas are, at the start of the season, weren't one of the two of the teams where we were instantly drawn to in terms of big name players. Obviously, we talk about New York City, we're obviously a big name team with players, but haven't lived up to expectations yet. These two have exceeded expectations, and I don't think the league table reflects that, where they are at, how they have achieved so far this season. And I think that's just because of other teams doing really well so far. You look at San Jose, Wondolowski, he's a veteran, San Jose through and through, but he's doing the job, banging in the goals, week in, week out, he's doing the job. Kansas City have a bit more of a balanced side. They have a bit more of a defensive side, I would say. Like, they're very hard to score against, and they keep banging in the goals, like winning. Well, but then again, they've lost the last two games in a row, both 2-1 to Colorado and Dallas, respectively.
Do you think the wheels might be coming off a Sporting Kansas City bus, Mark, or is it a bit reactionary to say that?
Well, I'm not going to say. I think this game could go either way. Me personally, both of these teams are coming off the back of a defeat. As I say, Kansas losing 2-1 to Dallas recently, and San Jose losing 3-1 to Portland last week. Both teams have a lot. They'll have their eyes on the top in the conference for sure after the way they've played. Kansas, I think their key players. Dwyer plays for Kansas. I'm right in saying.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah,
I'm
Dwyer.
Dwyer.
Yeah, just making sure. He's been a big star so far this season, banging the goals. I can't remember how many goals exactly he's got this season, but he's done really, really well. And they've got good defence in Coelho at centre back, settled back four. They've got playing this. I think they play the same back four all season, if I'm right. Very settled. And San Jose, like I say, keep banging in the goals with Wondolowski. So this game has a lot of promise. I'm sure there's going to be goals, even though, like I say, Kansas have a steady settled back four. But I think it could go either way. I don't know what you guys think.
Yeah, well, I mean, sorry, John. I think that, both of these teams, similar to the match I just previewed, they've not won for... I mean, San Jose lost last time out, Sporting Kansas City lost the last two games. Both of them haven't felt that winning feeling for a bit of time, especially San Jose, who haven't actually won after you go past the game on the 14th of April to the opening day of the season. Despite the fact that they are sitting modestly in mid-table. I don't know what you think, John.
I think Kansas have hit a bit of a rut because they started so well, and they've gone in the last few games, and watching them, they don't seem to have the same. I don't know how's the best. I'd say maybe spark of that they once had. However, I think both of the two of them, Kansas and I'd say more likely to finish higher in the table. Dom Dwyer still to me is one of the best strikers in this league, in my view. I think he's absolutely phenomenal. And as for San Jose Earthquakes, they started well, and Quincy's goal against
we love that, didn't we?
That goal was absolute.
Yeah,
I'm still holding that as my favourite goal this season.
That was
so
incredible.
far.
Yeah.
No offence to Dom Dwyer, who also scored a fantastic goal that week, but in this one, I'd looking at it. If you looking at the table, currently Dallas lead on 17, Salt Lake 14, Rapids 13, Kansas City 12.
Well, what about Colorado for the surprise contender of the season so far?
Galaxy, yeah.
No one has seen that coming, did they?
Yeah, Galaxy 11 and Earthquakes round out the playoffs in 6th on 11. They've got a goal difference of 0. If you look at some of the other competitors in this that are around them, okay, they're starting to pick up form. Los Angeles have been stuttering a bit, but now that Giovanni Dos Santos is back, I've got a feeling that LA are going to start rolling a bit smoother now. You look at Dallas, they're starting to get into good form. Salt Lake and Rapids out of nowhere, and now Rapids have Jones, and they're going to have Howard coming in the summer. Rapids have got the momentum behind them.
Oh yeah, definitely. They're it's good times in Colorado at the moment, isn't it?
Oh, how we mocked them before the season started. Oh, how all three of us mocked them.
Again, that's sort of like that sums up the whole season, Mark, doesn't it?
There's so much inconsistency. So much.
Where
the only team that we predicted will be up there that's up there is Dallas.
I said Kansas. I did say Kansas.
I said LA. So
yeah, well, I can't remember what I said.
I don't think you were bothered about. I think you were more bothered about Orlando.
I think you said
Montreal. And
yeah, well, again, Orlando are another one, aren't they? I mean, they're probably not going to.
It is the thing out these two.
Do too much again.
If I've got a feeling that the 4 teams are named Galaxy, Rapids, Lake, and Dallas are all gonna start breaking away. We're gonna start seeing a gulf between maybe about 1 to 5, from then 6 to 10. It's going to become a bit of a gulf. I'm saying it now. I could turn out to be wrong, but by the way the teams are playing, I think a gulf's going to start to appear. And Kansas, Galaxy, Earthquakes, Timbers, and I'll add Sounders into that because they're starting to pick up form. They've got to decide: are we going to be in the chasing pack, or are we going to be falling behind?
Yeah, I think to be fair, if Kansas beat Earthquakes, Earthquakes are marooned on 11 points, and Kansas go into second place, and other results go sort of the way you're inclined.
Look at Salt Lake though; they've played 2 games less than Dallas, only 3 points behind.
And that's another thing, isn't it? I mean, look at LA. I mean, LA win their 2 games and hand over everyone else, and they're knocking about the top, aren't they?
They'll be joint top with Dallas if they win their 2 games.
Yeah, I think the international break is really.
It's messed with the MLS quite a bit.
It's a bit hard to judge the league at the minute when so many teams have played so many different amounts of games.
But would you agree with me that, and what I say, Kansas City and Earthquakes, I wouldn't say it's a must-win, but both of them will be looking to take 3 points out of this to get some form going on the board. Because if they start losing points at this part of the season, when we're going to have less international breaks, we're going to start getting more games week in, week out, they don't want to be falling behind. They want to be in the chasing pack.
Games like this, 4th against 6th, is where you start to learn about the teams, don't you?
Put it like this: as you said, if results go their way, Kansas can be up to 2nd. Kansas can suddenly go from looking slightly nervy, falling behind, and then be right on the chasing Dallas. They could potentially knock Dallas down to what? 2 points? 2 points behind? Yeah. However, again, San Jose, should San Jose win, they can go up to what? If I'm correct.
3rd.
But I think
they can go up to 3rd themselves.
Yeah, I think we've established, haven't we, that it's sort of like one of those games that could possibly define both teams this season. I know it's early on, but we're going to start to learn about these teams now, aren't we? Are we for real, or are we, are we going to stutter?
the big thing for me is San Jose have got to make the home advantage count here. I mean, this is their first match of the season against Kansas. They've got to make it count. And if I was Wondolowski, I'd be turning around to the rest of my teammates and going, come on, this game we need to take. Because if you take it, it's a warning sign to everyone, to the teams below you and the teams who are at the lower end of the table. It's, A up. Earthquakes are starting. Sorry, going very British there. Earthquakes, they're starting to make headway. They're starting to move forward. Maybe there's someone we're supposed to be, we'll have to be watching a bit more. To the people ahead of you, it's going to make them worry. It's going to make them think, oh, this ain't good. We've now got earthquakes on our back. If you put it from like a Salt Lake perspective, you're trying to chase down first, but they've got Rapid City and Galaxy right behind them. If earthquakes win,
exactly. I think this is where you start to, like I said before, if these teams can sort of do it against a team that's level on points with them, level in a similar position, then we'll start to see a gap, like you were explaining, form where the contenders separate from the pretenders, if I wanted a better phrase.
So what score predictions are we going for, lads?
Well, I'm going to go for a 2-1 Kansas win.
2-1 Kansas win for Rich. In my head, I've got Wondolowski versus Collier. So I'm going to say 1-1. I think they're going to cancel each other out, sadly. But I think it'll be entertaining to watch.
I'm going to go for a high-scoring game here. I'm going to go 3-2 to Kansas.
I can see why as well, because both teams score, both teams concede.
But then again, I think Kansas have got a very good defence.
Yeah, only 7 goals.
7 goals conceded. Only Colorado and LA can match that, really.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, yeah, that's it. It all comes down again to whether whose defence is going to turn up and whose attack's going to turn up.
But moving on swiftly from that.
No, there's not just those 2 games. Obviously, we're going to make it slightly different this week because we're going to have our resident John here going to do a full roundup of all the games.
There will be a roundup. It will hopefully be out on Monday night.
Yes.
Once all the games are
we'll
up.
We'll have match previews published today, looking towards the weekend's fixtures, and we'll have a roundup and match reports published on the Monday.
So in preparation for that, we're going to do our usual score predictions for all the rest of the games, other than ones that we've already done. To kick it off, we've got the Canadian derby here, Montreal versus Toronto. So, how do you see this game going, guys?
Montreal, as Rich said, are the pace setters, and whilst the Eastern Conference is starting to waver a bit, Toronto seem to have been slightly knocked out their stride. I'm going to back Montreal Impact for this 2-1 win.
I'm going to go the same way as John. I really fancy Montreal because they are sitting pretty at the top of the Eastern Conference. 2-1 to Montreal.
What about you?
2-0 Montreal. 2-0 Montreal.
We are all backing Montreal. No?
I don't think Toronto are going to score because I thought you said they're too over-reliant on Giovinco. While he did score the last game he played, I still think they're too over-reliant on him. They need to start. The other players need to start stepping up. The likes of Bradley need to start stepping up a lot more.
There are 2 other games tomorrow. We have Columbus Crew taking on Houston Dynamo. Gentlemen, predictions on this one, please.
Well, the Houston Dynamo are currently marooned at the bottom.
We're not going to mock John for it.
We're not mocking anybody, but we are going to say that John may have been wrong in the season.
How long ago it seemed that they demolished Dallas 5-0?
That was a very, very, very...
How long ago that was?
Very strange.
Owen Coyle, why have thy forsaken me?
A very strange turn
John
of
is
events.
looking up to the ceiling right now in desperation, if you can't see.
Looking at the form afterwards, there was nothing to suggest that Houston won that game 5-0.
No.
Look at the way the teams
It's
react.
top versus bottom when you look at it now.
The team versus the table, sort of, yeah.
It'd be like Aston Villa beating Leicester 5-0. That's how insane it is. That the fact that result happened in hindsight.
However, in this match, they're going up against a Columbus Crew who've really kind of stuttered. There seems to be final fatigue going in this league because both Crew and Timbers, who aren't playing this weekend actually, both have really struggled to get the momentum going straight out the gate. And whilst Timbers, granted last season, started off slow, Crew didn't as much, and it's starting to worry me. However, I'm going to back Crew on this. Actually, no, I'm going to go 2-2 draw, I'm going to say. I think they cancel each other out.
Yeah, well, I fancy Columbus at home against Houston, to be honest. I'm going to go for a 1-0 low-scoring Columbus Crew win.
I'm going to go with Columbus this time. I'm going to go for 2-1. 2-1 Columbus.
The other the other game that we've got is Colorado Rapids taking on Seattle Sounders. Rapids, who are in the ascension right now, but Sounders are starting to pick up a bit of form. Gentlemen, what are we thinking? Is it going to be Dempsey or Jones?
Yeah, I mean,
Jones, I think.
Yeah, Colorado. I mean, they are the surprise.
They're flying, aren't they?
They're the Leicester City of the MLS, aren't they? You know,
I think that's taking it a little bit too far.
they are. I'm really impressed by Colorado this season.
And they're only going to get better. In the second part of the season, they are only going to get better.
I think the acquisition of Jones and Howard was brought in at just the right time to galvanise the team. And I mean, Jones had such a great debut; it shows it all.
I think Colorado's season seems to be rejuvenated since the announcement of Howard. I don't know if that's.
I'd say it's more on Jones, just because Jones is performing straight in.
Yeah, but I mean, since they announced that Howard is going to go there at the end of the English Premier League season, it's just like the whole squad seems to be like lifted, as if to say like we have to be worthy of him coming to the club. So I think they've raised their game, all of them.
I'm willing to guess that you're both going to back Colorado Rapids in this.
Yes,
I am. Because Seattle have not really impressed me at all. So
I'm going 2-1 Colorado.
2-1 Colorado.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to go for.
I'm not predicting every game to be 2-1, by the way.
Well, 4 of them have been so far.
No, yeah. So
I'm going to go for a 1-0 Colorado win.
I'm going to buck the trend, and I'm saying 2-0 Seattle Sounders.
Oh, God.
Clint Dempsey and crew have started to... They've impressed me, and I honestly think they could start to turn this round.
there's always one.
There's always
And
it's always John.
Right, John missed this game out, I will not. It's DC United versus New England Revolution, which do play tomorrow, of course. I think New England will not walk it, but I think they're definitely the favourites of the two teams. DC, you watched them, John, against Dallas a few weeks ago, and they were poor, but they seem to have raised their game a little bit since then.
I wouldn't say raised. They
played better.
They went on
they couldn't play worse.
They went on a tiny little incline.
They couldn't play worse.
The only way was up. The only way was up.
The only way is up. So where do you see this game going?
I think it's going to be a draw. Honestly, I don't. Both teams. Then DC are coming off a great last season, and granted, it was quite naive to think that they do better than they did last season because they really pushed their squad as far as they could go. But they can do much better than they are doing now. And I'd say the same to Revolution. Revolution have the capability to do much better. I'm going to go high score and draw again, 2-2.
Well, me personally, I think New England have one of the best fullbacks in the whole league in TNA. I watched them against Chicago, I think it was.
Chicago Fire, yeah.
Chicago Fire. I think it was Chicago Fire, which was a very enthralling game to watch. And I think that he is definitely their star man. But, they've got a lot of other good players in there, but I think they will, and I think they will have the better of DC United. Like I say, they had a good season last season, but they haven't hit the ground running yet. And I don't see that starting now, so I think New England will win it 2-0.
And final one is you, Rich.
Not 2-1.
Erring on the side of caution for this one. I can see why Mark may want New England favourably. Let's go 1-0 England, shall we?
1-0 England.
1-0 New England. Yeah, New England.
New England, not
1-0 to the New England. Yeah,
New England, not the original England.
Yeah, well, Three lines on a shirt.
Yeah. Another game tomorrow night is LA Galaxy versus Real Salt Lake. This promises to be quite an enthralling game. Two of the
Plata versus
Gerard, Keane versus Plata again, probably. Yeah. Name somebody else in Salt Lake.
Romando.
Okay.
Come on, one of the best goalkeepers in the MLS right now of all time.
Okay.
Sticking up for your Salt Lake fans. I'm here for you.
No, I'm not accusing them of Salt Lake of anything. They are a very good side, and Plata is one of my favourite players in the league.
I'm going to say it. Salt Lake for this one, 3-1.
I
think
what
Salt
he's called
Lake
it early.
are going for this.
Yeah, that really is like
That's
put your money where your mouth is, John.
Put this way, John, you're either going to be bob on or nowhere near with that one. I think.
That is my wallet, by the way. That's not just me.
Wait, is that a moth?
I fancied 3-1 Galaxy.
3-1 Galaxy.
Is that your final score prediction? 3-1
Complete
Galaxy.
opposite.
Yeah.
3-1 Galaxy. Wow.
Gerrard hat-trick.
Gerrard hat-trick. Okay, even me, one of the most passionate of Gerrard fans, will not see that happening. He's only just come back from injury.
Yeah, well, it's superstar, isn't he?
Yeah, legend.
I
think it's going to be a draw.
I'm not really good.
Both teams, if Galaxy and Real Salt Lake play properly, it's going to be very, very entertaining to watch. But my worry is that one of the sides is just not going to live up to the expectations, and the other team's going to demolish them.
I think Galaxy is still rattled by De Jong.
Yeah.
What De Jong did the other week
Yeah.
was just... Oh, no, it's 2 weeks now. It's just...
Could you elaborate for our audience?
Basically, De Jong went back to being good old De Jong and did one of those tackles that he's become slightly notorious for now. And I've watched it back a few times now. I watched it back with, of course, Oliver Hodges, who we'll talk about in a bit. And we both said, it's a horror tackle. It's terrible, isn't it? And you look on the faces of some of the other LA players, and it seemed to throw them out their game a bit. And I'm honestly going to say it. I think they've been rattled by it.
He got a how many game ban? 3 or 4?
I'm not sure. Rich, if you could quickly check that one for us.
He got a 3 or 4 game ban for it. How many games has he served of the ban so far?
Should be 1.
Just the 1, has he?
Whilst we wait for Rich to get that one, we've got all our...
I've got my score prediction, remember?
I thought you said it. 1-1, didn't you?
I think it's going to be a draw. I'm going to go for 1-1.
No, I called it.
1-1.
The final game on tomorrow is Vancouver Whitecaps taking on FC Dallas. Top v the bottom. Well, top VA bottom side.
Top VA bottom side.
A bottom side.
That's the most
We can't forget Houston.
No. Yes, John's team, Houston.
Yes. Oh,
Didn't you tip them to win the whole thing?
No, I tipped Dallas, which is why I'm slightly worried, because I've got a feeling... I don't know. Everything tells me that Dallas should walk it. However, my gut feeling is saying no, they're not going to do it.
Well,
and that worries me, because Morales is one of those players, is just so good at Whitecaps that he can just turn games on its head like that. And so...
sorry to interrupt, John, but Nigel de Jong received a 3 game ban for his tackle.
3 game ban.
Yeah.
And he served 1 of those, so he's still got another 2 games to go.
I mean, yeah, just going back to that de Jong challenge, we haven't had a podcast on it since. I mean, what did you guys all... If you want to get your predictions out for Vancouver versus Dallas, then we can sort of talk about it in a bit more depth.
I'm 2-1 Dallas. I'm going to risk it. Risk it for chocolate biscuits.
2-1 Dallas.
I'm going for the form team. Dallas 1-0, not 2-1.
Also, if there's any Americans tuning in, by biscuits we mean cookies.
These things.
They can't see it, you know.
No, I'll post it.
Hang on. Block the advertising. There we go.
Yeah. They're very nice.
We can hear you.
£1 at co-op.
Was it 2 for 1?
No.
You can tell we're British people. No.
Right, my prediction, Dallas.
Bear in mind,
3-1 Dallas.
The form team, Mark. The form team.
3-1 Dallas. I think, like you say, Morales for Vancouver, I think he'll bag a goal, but I think the quality that Dallas have, Barrios, Castillo, those sorts of players are going to run
3-1.
right. I mean, Diaz is injured still, unfortunately, but they've still got quality of the rest of the pitch to do that.
Like we said, I still can't believe that this Dallas is a team that got thumped 5-0 by the local rivals.
I know.
Like, it just doesn't
I think
make
the occasion got to them, clearly.
It just does not make any sense.
I think a lot of it was sadly on Jesse Gonzalez's head. The great young keeper and a real talent for Mexico. When the great Ocha finally retires, hangs up his gloves, I think they've got a fantastic replacement in Jesse Gonzalez. But that game, he just got shaken. And the minute you go... And by that, the defence got shaken. And then it all kind of collapsed. The foundations of the building all came down. But now, they're in great form. And, yeah. Rich, your final one on this one.
Well, we've got to talk about... We're going to talk about...
He hasn't given his prediction, has he?
Yeah, he went 1-0 Dallas.
Oh, did he?
Yep.
Yeah. Right, shall we talk about the De Jong challenge, or shall we make our final prediction for the final game?
Obviously, we've done Earthquakes, Kansas, New
New York Red Bulls versus Orlando City.
Orlando 6-0.
Right, well, Well,
Are you
hang
honestly
fire.
saying that, or?
yeah, I'm gonna say Orlando.
Are you
6-0.
really
Yeah.
saying 6-0?
Yeah, but if I get like within like 2 goals out, maybe like 4, can you still give you the points?
No.
No, just say 4.
Alright, fine.
Be sensible.
Are you
Yeah,
saying
fine.
4-0 or
4-0
6-0?
Orlando, yeah.
4-0 or... Oh, my
A
God.
brave.
No one's... Can I
call.
just say this? No one's ever predicted 4 goals to be scored by a team yet. That was 3.
Yeah, I'm going for 4 Seb Hines goals.
Where's your man Notarino?
Yeah, I saw
Or
something.
Kaká?
I saw something about that on Bleacher Report yesterday, actually, but Notarino's injured, is he, or suspended or something?
I thought he was still able to play. However, the simple fact is Kaká. You don't really need to say much else.
Kaká is just a legend.
And then you look at Red Bulls and, oh, sweet.
Mary.
Yeah, suspended 1 game for entering the field of play.
Yeah, Red Bulls worries me. It really does, looking at them. And
I think they're over-reliant on players that just aren't putting the work in, like Bradley Wright-Phillips, Sean Wright-Phillips. They're just not putting the work in.
I don't think they're over-reliant. The thing that really baffles me, I had first game of the season, the Ray opener, them versus Toronto, and they played really, really, really well. They actually did. The only thing they lacked was the cutting edge at the end. Gideon Barr, who they've brought in defence, was phenomenal. I'll actually give it to him. I thought, no offence to the guy, but he spent the majority of his career in the Finnish league, which isn't exactly the most high profile of leagues and not the most competitive on international standards, so to speak. No offence to any Finns listening either. But I thought he played really well in that opening game, and I've watched him quite a few times, but they still somehow cannot get to gel. And so I'm going to back with Rich. I'm not going to go as high scoring as he's saying, but I'm saying 2-0 Orlando.
Well, shall I go smack bang in the middle and say 3-0 Orlando?
I was going to say, if you do, it'll be the first time we've ever agreed on 3 results.
No, I think we have before.
No, we never agreed with 3 results in 1 week.
Well,
We've
yeah,
been
we
on
have,
2.
because this week we've had Montreal to beat Toronto, all 3 of us.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. This week we could have.
Oh. And we've also had all of us to win, Dallas to win.
That's what I mean. You could make history. First time we all agree on 3 different...
Oh, my.
I don't mind getting a result right first, never mind all 3 of us
But
getting
you
one
seem
right.
to be the closest one out of all 3 of us. Like,
Really?
you seem to get results right, but not necessarily scores, where me and John used to get scores bob on, but not many.
Yeah, see, I'm like top of the Super 6 league this year as well, aren't I?
Well, I don't think we've even been
Well,
keeping track.
In the match roundup that I'll put up on Monday, I'll put up our predictions and results.
Yeah.
I am going to go 3-0 Orlando on this one.
Okay,
We're
so
all
that is...
predicting a heavy loss to Red Bulls.
Sorry, New York.
And that's-
Sorry.
that's all
we
this-
are really laying into New York clubs, aren't we?
That's all the score predictions done, Ben, and there's a couple of things I would like to talk about, lads, if that's okay with you.
First of all, go into De Jong, I'm guessing.
Yeah, I was going to, but I was going to keep it topical with Orlando. I've just double checked with my sources, i.e. Google. Antonio Nocerino has been suspended.
Your sources.
Has been suspended for 1 game.
Are they Sky sources, that report on
No,
that
they
as
are.
well? Is that who Sky sources
So
are?
it's right. So get this right. It's been suspended. I don't know how many of you are never listeners. I know you two don't watch the NFL, right? So when a touchdown is celebrated, there are various things you can't do. Like one of the NFL players a couple of years ago who played for Miami, Brian Hartline, he scored a touchdown, and he did a sort of golf celebration where he put in it and then like sort of celebrated, and he got issued with a foul, like a penalty for it.
Yeah.
Why?
Because it's like it's too. I don't know what the official ruling is, but it's.
So you can't really mention
too-
any other sport?
No, it's too extravagant a celebration.
What? Putting a
Yeah,
so-called
this is-
golf ball?
This is exactly my point. You can't sell in American sports for some reason. Do not like do not like over exuberant celebrations. If Jamie Vardy scored in
They've
MLS,
evidently never seen UFC.
if Jamie Vardy ran down the sideline and shouted "Me, it's all." Flipping
Which he
me,"
does.
which he did.
Which he
when
does.
When he scored against United, he was swearing at the crowd. He wouldn't be allowed back in America. Like, it's unbelievable. So Kevin Molino scored in the 92nd minute against New England Revolution to put 2-1 up last time Orlando played, and Nocerino was a sub or had been subbed off. He was wearing one of them training bibs, and all the Orlando players went over and celebrated at the sideline. So he was like jumping on the huddle and everything, but because he then crouched the field of play, which is against the laws of the game, but it's I mean, if you're not gonna.
Well, the ball's technically dead anyway once it goes in the net.
Yeah, but the law still
It's
stands.
not in play.
But the thing is, the fact that he's been banned for one game and issued an undisclosed
For
fine
celebrating with his teammates.
for entering the field of play. Are you
Yeah, but
celebrating?
it wasn't in play because the ball was dead because the referee called it.
Not entering the field of play. Yeah.
Not to sound like a complete grouch, which I'm probably going to sound like right now.
Yeah.
I actually agree with the MLS here banning him. The reason
Why?
Here's the reason.
God, there's always one. I told you.
Okay.
I'll tell you someone who wouldn't agree with you.
Jeez.
Kevin Molino.
Kevin
Well,
Molino.
yeah.
Yeah, Kevin Molino.
Notarino.
Notarino.
Yeah,
Okay.
as
Put
well.
it this way, you know, well,
Here's the thing. So many rules of football are edged around these days that if we just say, "Oh, we'll give you a fine or whatever for doing it," more and more people are going to do it. If you cannot go on the field of play, I'm sorry, but yeah, just celebrate with the bench.
yeah, but it's a silly rule.
No, but I think the thing is,
You've got to keep it.
Yeah, but why?
If you were told
If the game was in play, like there was something going on, and he ran on, fair enough. But it was a goal, and it was dead. The ball was dead.
I've no issue with Notarino being fined or being carded or anything for entering the field of play. The one match ban I think is a little too much for me.
It's not worthy
Well,
of a ban.
here's the thing though. A fine to a professional footballer in the modern day and age is nothing.
It depends
Because
how much you fine him.
No,
Yeah.
no, I'm going to take John's side of I really can see what John
I
is
agree what
getting
you
at.
mean with say fines aren't worth it.
Yeah.
But it's not a punishment. He hasn't done anything wrong.
Anyway, but
No,
we could sit
yeah.
here and debate this for hours, but that's what's happened, and I don't agree with it, and I don't think either of us, me and Mark do. John,
I don't
John-
agree with it.
You know, a couple of other bits and bobs.
Shall we talk about De Jong or is that only the
We can
fines finale?
we can talk about De Jong.
Me personally, I haven't seen it. So
you still haven't seen it.
So
Yeah,
I, haven't,
well, I mean-
I haven't seen the challenge. I've heard about it, but I haven't actually seen the challenge.
It's all over Twitter. There's vines everywhere. It's not a very nice challenge at all. It's led with his studs. It's a bit like Funes Mori the other night against.
Oh, don't get me started.
Yeah, I know.
Don't
I
get
know.
me started.
It's exactly like that, isn't it, John?
So what? He keeps his foot planted on someone to keep it from getting
More or
off the
less,
ground.
but it's a lot higher up as well. Yeah.
What
It's-
on his like shins or something?
No, not his shins, but just
Kind of rakes it downwards.
Yeah, it's
So he like puts it on his like
Yeah.
Achilles sort of thing, or on his tendon.
It's calf. I think. Oh, is that
It's not a.
is that your calf? I don't know.
It's just the worst thing is it was De Jong who did it, and I don't want to say this because he's a fantastically talented footballer, but he is literally had this notorious element about him of that he does these terrible tackles.
I just get the feeling though that if it had been someone who isn't as high profile as De Jong, would it have got much publicity?
Oh
It
yeah.
would still got some publicity.
But
It
nowhere
still
near as much
it
because of
still
his
would-
name. If it had been, say, Gerrard that did it, it would have been even more so because he's English.
No,
No, I think
No.
I think it's because it's a.
If it had
'cause
been
it's De
Pirlo
Jong.
that did it, it would have been the same sort of treat. But if it's someone like, I don't know,
No.
Morales for
I thi-
Vancouver, it would
I
have been no
think
mention.
the reason
hardly.
it's so big is because it's De Jong and
It
he's
is De
known
Jong,
for
yeah.
doing this.
Maybe
if it was Gerrard, people would still kick up a fuss. The big reason
Even
is
more of us, I think.
if I'm correct in saying, he wasn't red carded, was he?
No, I think he got Then he got sent off.
He didn't get sent off for it.
Well, that's down to the referee's decision, isn't it?
Here's
No,
the
but
thing.
as far as I'm concerned, though, right? Yeah, sorry, John, but De Jong is known for being a tough tackler. I'm not going to say he's a dirty player, but he is known for putting those challenges in. You know, he kicked Xavi Alonso in the chest in the World Cup final.
That was
Crying
not
out
a
loud.
challenge.
I mean, that is him. That's his style of play, isn't it? And
What, kicking
Karate.
kung fu fighting style?
well, yeah. I mean, yeah. Obviously,
That's a
isn't
style of play. That's the Roy Keane style, Eric Cantona style of play.
it? Yeah, they want
Kung
to-
fu fighting.
You can
Yeah, well,
tell we have
you
a
know-
Liverpool fan in the room.
That's your footballing, though, isn't it? I mean,
Yeah.
that is your footballing. You know, that wins your trophies at the end
What,
of the day.
kicking someone in I didn't I recall they lost that final in the World Cup? The Netherlands?
Yeah, but he won Premier League year after. So what?
What? Netherlands didn't, he did.
It is the thing. It's just
Yeah, maybe he
a
shouldn't have kicked him in
bad
the chest.
tackle.
Yeah, he shouldn't have kicked him in the chest. Or,
Actually, you know what? Maybe he probably shouldn't have done that. The more I think about it,
yeah, you're actually sticking up for a man who
No, I'm not
kicked
stick-
someone in the chest.
I'm not sticking up for anyone. I'm just saying that's his style of play, isn't it?
You're advocating kung fu style football.
Well, if it's like
Can we please?
karate
Could
kick
you not say
goal,
that
I'll
because it
take
sounds like I actually am and I'm not. If anybody heard that little snippet in the podcast, they'd think I was sort of like just asking everyone to go around kicking people in the chest. Actually, I'm not.
I'm sure Eric Cantona will make you an ambassador right now. We're not going to give you an 8-month ban, don't worry.
You can really,
God.
really, really tell he's a Liverpool fan.
Aside from the fact that I'm wearing a Liverpool shirt today.
Yeah, but you just need to listen to your talk. If you're watching off this camera, you never listen to this podcast before. All you need to hear is just hear your talk.
Anyway, Nigel de Jong.
It's a ban. I'd say it should be longer.
3.
I'd say it should be 4.
Well, if he got
violent conduct.
if
is
he got a
standard
straight red, it's a 3-match ban anyway.
Violent conduct is a standard 3-match ban in the Premier League and the Football League, and English football. So I'm assuming he'll have been cited with violent conduct. It's not a professional foul. It's violent conduct. Yeah, this is from the resident ref at the room.
Resident referee.
We have a resident ref in the room this week.
A little few more bits and bobs of MLS.
Let's get a few more snippets.
The MLS name expansion candidates have been released.
Oh yes,
yes. I mentioned this. Brought this up off air.
We have
St. Louis.
Don Garber, who has said that apparently that St. Louis and Sacramento could become homes to MLS clubs as soon as 2020. Now, tying in with the NFL again, St. Louis Rams vacated the Rams Stadium in St. Louis to go and move to Los Angeles, which has freed up that stadium for a possible MLS expansion.
A lot of teams seem to be going to California now. Obviously, we'll get it. We've already got Galaxy and San Jose.
The current expansion. Next season, we're going to have LAFC in Los Angeles, and we're going to have Atlanta United in Georgia. Those are the
we
two
get
ones.
Minnesota as well.
Minnesota, I'm correct in saying, is 2017, and then 2018 is Beckham's Miami.
Miami could be literally any time ever because there's still no set type. They haven't got a stadium.
It's believed it's going to be 2018.
But that's if all goes to plan getting a stadium.
Bear in mind, and in those, you go into a 24-team league. This is just... First of all, I think they're great. Sacramento, California, yeah, sure.
I think we should have... Great having more teams in it. It's more competitive.
Great. However, I think there's a limit of teams you can have in a league.
Well, I think maybe 24.
Well, the NFL
they've only got... how many have they got? 11 in the league so far, haven't they?
The NFL has 32. I mean, don't forget, you're talking about a place that's got 50 states.
So we've got 10 in each league. You could easily add another 20 teams and have 20 in each.
Yeah,
still be all right.
But here's the thing: they play each other. They're always playing each other full season. For that to fit
that's why it would change the format.
Yeah, fitting inside a football season, unless you're going to go to a 2-tier format you've got a higher league and a lower league, and you've got promotion and relegation.
I think they should. That would make it more interesting.
I think the highest you can go realistically is 30. I cannot name
30 is a bit much. I still think 24.
Yeah, here's the thing.
Can't whittle 30 down.
Here's the thing: pushing 30, and that's as far as you can go. I can't think of any football league on the planet that goes above 26. The League One in the English system, the third tier in the English system, that has 26 teams.
24.
24.
Yeah, so if we're talking
24, I thought it was 26.
24. No, I think John might be right.
No, it's 24.
Which league is it where 4 go up and 4 come down?
Conference.
No. One of them. No, one of them has 3 automatic promotion.
League 2 has 4 up, 2 down.
Yeah,
that's because it's.
I support a team that languishes around these leagues. I should know.
Yeah, you support a team in the Championship.
Yeah, we spent the majority of our history in those leagues.
Anyway, so we have the Sacramento Republic of the third-tier United Soccer League. They recently submitted plans, or not submitted plans, but they released renderings of a proposed 25,000-seater stadium. So
I think it'd be good. I've got a few friends who live in California, ranging all right up from up in the north. I've got a few who live in Lancaster. I've got a few who live in down in LA. I've got a friend who actually lives in San Jose. But they love soccer, as they call it.
To be fair,
thank God you didn't say that.
To be fair, Sacramento Republic they have 10,000 season ticket holders. And which for a third-tier team is decent, in my opinion.
That's a really good haul. Put it like this, not to bring it back to my team, but my team and I know about 4 others this season have hauled in about 10,000 season tickets in the second tier of English football. And yeah, I know English football, England, we don't have as big a population as America, but come on, it's the biggest sport in our country. In America, soccer is still... 5th, 6th behind ice hockey, baseball, basketball, American football, probably NASCAR.
So, Rich, you're a Derby County fan. What's the average waiting list for a season ticket at Derby County?
I don't think there is one.
There isn't one, so you just get what's like, I get one.
No, to be fair, if you want a season ticket, you ring up and buy one.
Like, but you get put on a waiting list at most clubs.
Yeah.
No, Premier League clubs you do.
Yeah, like me. I mean, I support Liverpool, obviously, and the waiting list for us is like 9-10 years.
Really?
Yeah,
I thought it'd be longer than that.
For about you wait. I'm not going to say that. I know what the reason is what you're waiting for. I'm not going to say it on the podcast, but I think it just shows you that.
Well, no, it's because Liverpool is a massively popular club and there's only 44,000 seats.
Yeah, well, what you're waiting for?
Yeah, no. Here's the thing. In comparison,
People
this
not go anymore.
And before you think to anyone listening, we're going off on a rant, going off on English leagues compared to MLS. With the English lower league teams, Derby County, Bristol City, I'm going to name a few more, Rotherham,
teams like Forest,
Oldham, Forest.
Leicester.
Actually, no, I'm going to take out Forest and Leicester. Forest and Leicester aren't in this.
What are we naming?
Middle tier teams. They have an allocation of season tickets. However, most people who go to watch them don't watch in and out every week. They pick games and they don't normally want to always buy season tickets. That's why, for example, the team I support, we've sold 10,000 season tickets. I believe the amount allocation we actually can go up to is about 13,000.
Yeah, Derby County, I know for a fact, they can't sell their stadium capacity's worth of season tickets.
Because you have to have some available.
Yeah, you just can't.
Oh, yeah. Well, Liverpool have about 30-something thousand season tickets, I think.
Yeah.
However,
and the rest is public.
And away fans.
And away, well, it varies.
But your general sale goes to people who've got credits and stuff, though, isn't it?
I don't want to. I could talk for hours about how the way Liverpool
here's the thing.
Tickets go on sale.
Linking it back to the MLS. New York City sold out. I'm pretty sure. I remember seeing this. Rich is probably gonna have to clarify to make sure I haven't hallucinated this, but I'm pretty sure they sold out all their I think it was some ridiculous 17,000 season tickets within a week. In America, you get behind your club big time, and that's what I'm really liking to see. And as
Say
Rich
that
said,
to Orlando fans that sell out the Citrus Bowl a week in, week
Citrus
out.
Bowl, fantastic.
60,000 capacity.
We know John loves filling the bowl.
Fill in the bowl. It's the thing with, as you said, Sacramento Republic. If they're bringing in 10,000 into a third tier
soccer league as well. I mean, third tier, 10,000 fans over here in the
Plus,
in
it's
League
quite
One.
a hot place to be, Sacramento, capital of
Don't
California.
forget, you've
all
also
year round.
California as well. You've got all the big sports teams, stuff like you've got Golden State down there, haven't you? Who are doing really well in the NBA.
Angels, whatever. I think it'll be good. However, I do say that the most in my head you could push. Actually, no, 30 I'd say is too much. I'd say 28. 28 teams, because that would split it to what?
14 each conference.
Yeah,
4 more
14
teams in each conference.
Yeah. You've got a nice split in each one.
But then I don't think you wouldn't alternate then, like some Eastern playing Western teams. You wouldn't alternate it.
I think it would literally just be down to you play everyone in your division twice and you play opposition in their league once. That's it.
How many games have they played? Is it 34?
I believe so. Yes.
And you play. Well, there's nine. There's 19 in your conference. That's 18. So there's another 16 games there.
Here's the thing. Football, soccer, whatever you want to call it, on a major scale, in the countries where it's biggest, and I'm gonna pick 10, which I'd say, England.
Here we go.
Agree with me, gents. England.
Yes.
Germany.
Yes.
Italy.
Yes.
Spain.
Yes.
Brazil.
Yes.
Portugal.
Yes.
Is it France?
France, yeah.
Belgium.
No. I'd say Russia ahead of Belgium.
Switzerland.
No.
Yeah, Switzerland. Yeah.
I'd say Argentina.
Yeah, to be fair.
Argentina and
Turkey.
I'd say the Netherlands.
Well, who is it off that list then?
England.
No.
England, France, Spain.
Right.
Germany.
Italy.
Right,
Portugal.
They're the 5.
We could sit and name European countries for hours.
Here's the thing. If you look at their leagues, and granted I'm stretching a bit more when I say Brazil, Russia, and... Okay, take out Brazil...
I won't say Russia.
No, here's the thing. Take out Russia, Brazil, and Argentina. All these countries are fairly small in comparison to America.
Yeah,
they're all very close together.
No, but it's about the appetite, though, isn't it? It's about the appetite for the sport, and I think that soccer is growing massively. This is why I want to put more MLS teams in.
It's a massive thing in South America. I mean, like in Brazil, Argentina, Uruguay, Chile.
Of course we do. All the
here's the thing I'm getting to with this point, not rambling, is with those 7 I mentioned, they're small countries, and so getting to games around it is very easily, very quickly. With with the Russian league, with the Argentinian league, and with the Brazilian league, the majority of their teams are in one area of the country. If you look at Brazil, the majority of their teams are in the south of the country. Russia, the majority are in the west of the country. Argentina, majority in the northeast. America, it's all over the place. And that travelling, if you've got a 30-team league in football, and you're playing each team twice a season, in your own conference alone, that is a lot of distance.
It's exactly the same with the NFL. With the time difference, it can be an absolute killer as well. So I think we'll have to see what happens with that.
Yeah. Then again, I'm all for Sacramento and St. Louis.
But I'll say more teams the merrier. The more the merrier.
But look, moving on. So we spoke about a certain Mr. Radamel Falcao when we first started this.
Many moons ago.
When we first started this famous podcast up.
I wish it was famous.
We spoke about how he spoke about moving to the MLS, didn't he? Now he's recently done another interview with NBC Sports, in which he said that he'd never say no to the MLS, but in this moment he's thinking about Europe and his performances there. He says, I think I have more years to fight in these leagues. He said, continued, I follow the league in England. They're showing games. I have some friends who play in there who I played with in River Plate or Porto, like Federico Higuain or Diego Valeri. Okay. He says some other Colombian players are playing in Major League Soccer. Obviously, the big stars like Andrea Pirlo, Kaká, or Giovanni Dos Santos are too. I think that MLS could be bigger than now because they have everything they need to become an even stronger league and become even more competitive. What do you make of that, then, guys? Radamel Falcao, he scored 1 goal in 12 games this season. He's 30 years old. As we said last time we spoke, he was never really the same after his cruciate in January of 2014, which ruled him out of the World Cup while playing for Monaco.
Do you want the cynical answer or the normal answer?
Aren't they the same thing?
Well, no, because I have two views on this. One cynical and one more optimistic.
Rich is saying that it all went down from when he had a cruciate ligament injury. I think it went down when he went to Monaco.
No, here's the thing.
Yeah, he took the money there.
He took the money. He was doing fine at Atletico, and then he went for money at Monaco.
I'd agree with Rich because he started playing well for Monaco. Started off really well, then he got injured, then he went out of form. The reason, okay, I say cynical or normal. Going from an MLS point of view, cynical is why would you want him? He is not in the form. I know he's a big name, but there are better big names you could go for. I'm pretty sure Zlatan Ibrahimovic, you should start.
Oh, he's going to England.
I doubt it.
He's going to England.
Going to Arsenal, going to London.
No. There are other big names in Europe you should go for ahead of and across the world instead of Radamel Falcao. You should get Tim Cahill back. I saw that rumoured as well, by the way. The other one, the nicer side of me, the less jaded point.
The normal one.
I don't think that clarifies. Don't think that is a normal part of me. But on the other hand, I think he wants a few more years in Europe before potentially going to the MLS.
He only wants a few more years in Europe because he thinks he's got something to prove.
And if he has, and if he does prove it, by the time he comes to the MLS, he'll be back in form.
But he's had chances. He's been at Man United. He's been at Chelsea, big clubs in their respective countries. He's not done anything.
Here's the thing, though. Man U, did badly, but everyone has criticised Van Gaal's regime at Man U that they do not play attacking football. Chelsea have gone.
What about Martial?
Self-destruct.
What about Martial? He's bagging in the goals. Rooney's still getting them. Rashford bagging in the goals.
No.
Right, if a young 18-year-old who has never played first-team football before can bag in the goals, why can't Falcao?
Because the style of football they play, it's just not the same
Falcao,
at Man U.
The money that you pay for, I mean, I know they didn't pay for him, we got him on loan, but the money
they're paying on his wages.
Well, yeah, $300,000 a week. I mean, the money that you're invested in him, he should be able to adapt to any style of play. The quality that he has been so called, before he went to Man United, he had one of the best goals to game ratios that has ever been around in modern football.
Here's the thing. Atletico Madrid played a fantastic game where they turned around to Monaco and went, right, we won. I forgot how much it was. 50 million? Something ridiculous.
Oh, they played low. It was like upwards 60 million-ish.
Yeah, it was definitely upwards of that price.
I've got a feeling they did it as half of one of, this will tell Monaco to go away, you're not going to take him. And Monaco came back saying, yeah, we'll take him for 50 million. And Atletico went, fair enough, that's 50 million, we'll take that.
And they went and bought Griezmann for that,
Yeah.
with that money as well.
Yeah,
And
that was a
Jackson
sound
Martinez,
investment. Yeah,
who
he-
is now moved to Chinese League. No, but here's the thing: Monaco then can't devalue him because then they show that they made a loss on him. So they've got to try and keep him at other clubs. The one thing I don't get is why don't Monaco keep him? He hasn't really been given a chance back in the Monaco squad.
They have got a lot of money though, because they got rid of obviously Martial. They got a lot. Obviously, no one knows how much they actually paid for him, but
36 million plus.
a lot of money for him.
Going from an MLS point of view, him saying no now and that he wants to try and prove himself before maybe coming to the MLS, I'd just say if you do want Falcao in the MLS, it's probably a good thing because he may have a chance to show himself back in Europe of, yes, I can still do this, and by the time he gets to America in 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, whatever, he can be back at the top of his game. And then you've got another absolute heavyweight coming into this.
I agree, it would be a heavyweight. Was it Columbus Crew were the ones that he were?
Columbus Crew were the ones rumoured. However,
in the original rumour that we brought to you
Columbus Crew.
a couple of months ago, it was Columbus Crew, yeah. I think any club in the MLS would want him. They would want take a gamble on him. I mean,
sell his shirts.
Yeah.
well, how much they'd get the crowds in to see him, definitely.
Yeah.
But whether he'd live up to expectation, we don't know.
But then again, the cynical side of me, it says, like teams, Toronto, why do you want him? You've got Giovinco. Orlando City, why do you want him? You've got Kyle Larin. Dallas.
And Kaka.
Yeah. Dallas, you got, I'm just talking about up front. Dallas, you got Arruti. Salt Lake, you got Plata. It's in my head. Rapids, you got Doyle. Galaxy, you got Keane.
Wouldn't Falcao be an upgrade on a lot of those players, though?
Doyle, maybe, but some of them, no. I think Kyle Larin's really going to be something soon.
Kansas have got Dwyer.
Dwyer, no, I wouldn't swap out Dwyer.
Let's think of someone. New York City, David Villa.
Maybe David Villa.
Montreal, Drogba.
No.
Philadelphia, Sapong.
Maybe. Red Bulls is the only
Bulls,
one.
got Bradley Wright Phillips.
Yes,
I
Bradley
don't think
Wright
it's a
Phillips.
question of having to swap people out. It's more about accommodating. But I mean, who would anybody really take a punt on him? No.
I wouldn't. This is just personally me. I wouldn't go for.
Don't forget this MLS designated players rule. I mean, everyone fills their designated player spot. If they were to bring Falcao in, he's not going to be one of these average, normal.
Oh no,
players.
he's definitely.
He's going to be designated for
he's
sure.
He's definitely a DP player.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
so
yeah,
if
it
one of
wouldn't-
these
it
clubs
wouldn't
were
not
to
be.
get him, who would they designated player would they get rid of? Because they have to get rid of one.
No,
Yeah.
a few teams have gaps, I think. But no, moving on. We've already said what we wanted to say on Falcao a few weeks back. Of course, you can go back on our blog and try sift through the archives to find that one. Is there any other headlines you want to talk about this week, Rich?
That's all your headlines for this week, John. Moving on now to a little bit of fantasy.
Yes. Shall we have I'll give an update on the league.
Yeah, we'll give you a quick roundup on the league, ladies and gentlemen. Nick Baker still in command, a respectable 97 this week, 457 overall. He is taking
He's
this
smoking
league
us,
place.
isn't he? He's smoking us. Mate.
Going down, Ryan Hunter follows in second, Ollie Hodges, Peter Joy, followed by myself. I'm leading the SourceMLS crew. Then we got Eric O'Rourke, Marco,
Yes.
Mark Wakefield is making a charge from bottom. He's now up to 7th.
Yes.
Going up one from the previous week, but still needs to pick up a bit of momentum. We've got a good Rich Cusack, feed the drog.
Tell you what, lads.
Not doing bad.
It's a marathon, not a sprint.
Remember,
I
ladies,
said that a few weeks
Why
ago.
don't we talk? We talk in September.
Do
Okay.
you think the winner, or wait, we're going to have a side bet here. We've got to. We'll divulge that. Nothing serious.
okay.
We'll make it fun.
Okay.
It
To
would
anyone
be
listening
fun
in,
for the loser.
if you've already got an MLS fantasy team or you want to join in, don't worry, it's never too late. You can just always catch up. Bear in mind, you're competing against myself, Rich and Mark. We're not always the best. So if you want to compete, please go to MLS, create your fantasy team. We have the code up on the blog of the access code. Go to Join Private League, put in the code. There you go.
Code, John?
Off the top of my head, cannot remember.
598-479.
Once again, please.
598-479.
You put in that code.
Make sure you put the dash in as well.
Yep, you go to Join Private League, put in that code, SourceMLS, join us, take us on. speaking of someone in our fantasy team, currently occupying 3rd place, down from 2nd.
Ollie.
Ollie Hodges is coming in next week. We finally have a guest coming in.
We have many questions for him.
Many questions. Probably not very football related.
They are.
But Ollie Hodges is coming in. He's decided he wanted to come in.
We're not going to dive all to the questions.
He's a specialist of Liga MX.
Yes, whenever we want to know anything south of the border, we normally go ask him. There's nothing much to, not many things to ask him right now. However, he wanted to come on, and we wanted someone to come in to talk to and probably actually get on to.
So Ollie, we look forward to seeing you next week, my friend.
Yes, Mr. Hodges. We'll look forward to seeing you on the podcast.
We're not going to divulge any of the questions. We want it to be a surprise. So
No.
they are instant reactions.
Nope. He may actually be live tweeting with me and Rich on the game, actually.
Oh, wow.
He said he may be up for it. So,
wow.
Of course, as I said, it is a 9 o'clock kickoff, Greenwich Mean Time for...
British summertime. Sorry.
Yes,
British
sorry.
summertime.
Apologies. British summertime.
Sorry for my pedantic.
Summer. For Philadelphia Union taking on New York City. Tomorrow night, me and Rich are going to be covering that one.
I just want to give an honourable mention related to New York City. New York City fan podcast. We're mentioning these. I myself have been in contact with them. Not recently, I'll admit, we've been obviously, head deep in work, basically, all 3 of us. But when I've covered New York City games, obviously we've had slow conversation with them. We want to get them in on the podcast. We're trying to get them on in some way. Obviously, it's going to have to be a phone call. We'd love them to get them in here personally, but obviously that's going to be very challenging.
We'd love to get over there personally.
We'd love to get over there personally, obviously.
We'd rather go to New York.
We'd really rather go to New York, exactly. I don't think they'd want to come to Derby personally, but...
Or you watch your mouth, mate.
Sorry?
You watch your mouth.
Oh.
Don't disrespect Derby.
Oh.
Anyway.
Can you blame me?
No.
But obviously, I'm not covering this game, but obviously I would like these two.
Don't worry, we'll be in contact with them. We'll be in contact.
It's alright, mate.
I'm sure they are away, but it's a local-ish derby, an East Coast derby. They are relatively close, so maybe you might be at the game. New York City fan podcast.
I must apologise to anyone from America, Canada, or big countries, because the problem with us being British, we look at the map and we think, Philadelphia to New York, that's close.
It's about a 4-hour drive.
It's a 4-hour drive.
4 or 5 hour drive, so it's not local.
It's like going the length of our country.
But in terms of other MLS teams, there's only really New England and Red Bulls that could be close to New York City.
DC. DC's closer than New England.
Yeah, but DC's further away than Philadelphia.
Right, we could debate geography for hours. So
we've gone off topic.
We
yet
get
again.
easily sidetracked.
We get
on this
easily
podcast.
sidetracked us three.
it's
been
because
so long.
Because we're so happy to get back in here.
We're so happy.
Well, anyway, tomorrow evening, me and Rich will be live tweeting on the game. The following night, you've got Mark live tweeting on the game. We'll all be doing it off the Twitter handle, which is at @source_MLS. Sorry, that is at @sourceMLS_. No, sorry. Try that again.
@source_MLS.
There we go.
@source_MLS.
If anybody
and not that you'd want to follow John Day on Twitter now, but John's Twitter handle is
John _J_.
Can you get your own Twitter name right?
I'm actually offended by that. It's John J. Date.
Make sure you get it right.
Jane. It's John J. Date.
Rich.
Richard Cusack 1.
And I myself, Mark Wakefield 95.
See, we've all got easy Twitter names and not tongue twister ones.
What, John J. Day?
Yeah, it can be confusing.
What is
So yeah, as I said, as
it's been a long week.
We've got. We're very pleased to be back in the studio, recording it again. We've got plenty of match previews, match reports, live coverage coming up over the weekend. A big weekend of MLS action.
It's been good talking to you, ladies and gentlemen. It's goodbye from Mark.
Goodbye.
It's goodbye from Rich.
Goodbye.
It's goodbye from myself. Thank you for listening to the Source MLS podcast.